Okay, guys, we are live. Dave's LFC Chats is back. Hit the like, hit the share, give us a sub, show us you care. I'm copywriting that, by the way. Anyway, I've got the legend with me. He's back. He's been on before. You know him. Throw-in coach extraordinaire, Thomas Grønnemark. And, of course, now pop star with Complicated Love. His new single has just come out. So we're going to talk about all that. It's going to be a fun bit of chat. Get your likes in, get your comments in. Whatever you want, guys, because it's all about fun and football and life. And that's what the way it should be. Thomas, welcome. How are you?
Yeah, thanks a lot, Dave. Yeah, I'm fantastic here in Denmark. Still traveling the world with my throwing coaching and have a new project also, like you mentioned. So I'm feeling pretty fine here.
Brilliant. I mean, we're going to get into the second part of the show is going to be about that Complicated song. You never know. I might even sing along with you. But, my singing isn't quite maybe as good as yours, but you know what I mean. So we go back. I did a video about 2 years ago with you. I remember the time you were doing throwing coaching on a summer camp with Liverpool. Yes, Jurgen, Norbert, Klopp. If people don't remember that famous day, that infamous day you were out, I think, shopping with your wife or family and you got a phone call. I mean, that was wow, wasn't it? That was the wow moment.
Yeah, that was totally wild. Yeah, and Jurgen, of course, has been calling me. We had to visit a chocolate shop. I had to do that together with my wife and my kids. You know, I have a son and a daughter, and you know, I had it on silent mode, and I could see the plus 44 number had been calling, and yes. I listened to the voicemail. It was Jurgen Klopp, and I was totally surprised, of course. I always dreamed about coaching one of the biggest clubs in the world. And yeah, I tried to call him back, but he didn't answer. And that was quite lucky because, you know, my heart was just saying boom, 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 you know. So I went into my wife in the chocolate shop and said, hey, Jurgen Klopp has been calling. And she said, Jurgen Klopp, what? And then we just bought a lot of chocolate, you know, into the car and drove directly home because I want to take that most important call in my life in quiet surroundings. So I was driving the car, wife sitting beside me, kids in the back, and then suddenly the phone rang. My wife picked the phone up and she said, it's Jurgen. And then I just took the car, drove directly to the right into a grass field. And yeah, it was Jurgen. Yeah, he said, we had a fantastic season in the 17-18 season, 4th place in the Premier League, Champions League final. We lost to Real Madrid, but we were really bad at the throw-ins. So we ended up with an invitation to Melwood at that time. And it was July 2018, and I had the pleasure to coach 21 Premier League players already the day after the meeting, the week after I signed a contract with Liverpool FC. I was there for 5 years, 5 seasons, and yeah, like you all know, it ended up with, of course, Premier League, Champions League, winning everything you possibly can. So in club football, so yeah, it was just like a fairy tale for me, yeah.
And I mean, you look, I know it's a small part, but you were a part of, you know what I mean? The trophy winning, as you say, the trophy winning times at Liverpool, which we all remember, the first league in over 30 years, Champions League, 3 Champions League finals, 1 Champions League win, number 6, of course, FA Cups, League Cups, all that success with Klopp. But I want to ask you about Klopp. I know you were on the pit, you were on Melwood at the time. You were in Axe as well, though, weren't you?
Yeah, I think it was the last 2 seasons of the 5 I had where it was in AXA too. So I both been 3 seasons in the legendary Melwood and also in the new fantastic surroundings in Kirkby. So I tried both and both places were, of course, magnificent. Of course, in Kirkby, even better with like more pitches and bigger rooms and so. But when you come to a place like Melwood, you know, legendary, where all the legends have been training, you know, you're really humble when you go in there and feel like you're really blessed to get that chance. So it was magnificent to coach in both places. Yeah.
I mean, it must have been unbelievable. What a fairy tale. And I said, I mean, you've been in a lot of clubs all over the world, South America, everywhere, Europe. I mean, any other clubs stick out? Dortmund, you know?
Yeah, Dortmund, I had the pleasure to help them this season here. I had 5 days here in March. Actually, I got my son with me on that visit. And yeah, he's 22, so he's quite a big boy now, or actually an adult. So I had 5 days with Dortmund here in March, and it was before the last 16 in Champions League. And at that stage, you know, everybody just wants to meet Dortmund in the Champions League because every team thought they could beat them or at least had a really good chance. But we ended up like you all know, coming in the Champions League final. And again, of course, I think we should have won it. When I say we, I say Dortmund. Because we should have been scoring 1-2 goals in the first half. But you know, if you're not scoring in your best periods, especially against a team like Real Madrid, you know, they'll just
don't remind me.
Yeah, no, sorry, I'll not going to talk more about that experience. So
no, but I mean, it must be unbelievable. I mean, traveling all around the world, iconic clubs. You know, I know you did a few in South America and all. I mean, and doing something that not a lot of people, to be fair, would have known about, or even would have known was a thing. Never mind anything else. A throw-in coach. I said it to a guy a few years ago. He looked at me and went, "What are you talking about, throw-in?" He nearly laughed at me. You know, did you get that type of? Did you get, did you get that feeling from people? Throw-in coach, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I think I got like 3 different kinds of reactions, and you can say the first one was that, like you say there, throwing coach. What the heck is he talking about? A lot of people said that, and it's because we've been neglecting throw-ins through football history. But what people forget is that there are 40 to 60 throw-ins in a match, and we are using approximately 20 minutes on throw-in situations in a match. So it's not a small thing. It's actually a gigantic thing. It's only because, you know, football world hasn't really focused on it for all the years it's been played. So, and especially with a club like Liverpool, who were third last before I came in the season before, number 18 in the Premier League, when you can go to number 1 like we did in Liverpool on throw-ins, it means a lot of the general performance. So yes, back to your question, a lot of people were saying, what the heck, what is that? Then there was a group who thought, okay, throw-in coach, I see it. That must only be around the long throw-ins. And yes, in some clubs, I've been coaching the long throw-ins with really big success. For example, FC Midtjylland, 35 goals in my last 4 seasons there. My local team, Kolding, in the second league, last calendar year, we scored 12 goals only in 1 year on long throw-ins and other throw-in goals. But in Liverpool FC, you know, it was the fast and clever throw-ins. Like, you know, it was not about the long throw-ins. So a lot of people thought, it's only about the long throw-ins. No, it's the long, fast, and clever. Everything you can imagine around throwing situations, also according to playing style. And then there was the last group who said, okay, this is actually really, really smart because there are so many throw-ins. And we have analyzed that actually really many clubs are really bad at the throw-ins. I think that all coaches, all fans knew that already, but it was a little bit like, okay, it's only a throw-ins. Let's go on to another thing. So again, back to your comment, Dave, I'll say that, you know, yes, of course, I've been working with throw-ins for 20 years. I've been having my international breakthrough, winning everything, been part of 15 titles in international football, not only Liverpool, but many others, promotions, teams punching above their weight. But you know, it's just because I saw one thing where I saw, wow, we can do this much better. That's one thing. And the second thing is that this is happening a lot of times. So I think that not all people, but really many people, they can find a thing or several things in life or in business where we're doing this a lot of times, but we're not really thinking about it. But it has a big effect on how we perform or how we thrive. So a lot of people are doing the things they did yesterday, and of course it's also okay to have traditions and things like that. But I think we can all, in some way, be innovative, like I was as a throwing coach in our own lives, but also in business, in our work, and other places.
Yeah, no, it is brilliant, and it's unique. It's probably unique. You know what I mean? I know in other sports, the likes of rugby, which I follow a little bit of, they have different coaches. You know what I mean? Defensive coaches, attacking coaches. You've different coaches for different different parts of the play and stuff. You know, and the one you're doing, I think a lot of it, what you were doing as well, is a lot of throw-ins you see, especially in the lower leagues or whatever, they lose a lot of possession in the throw-ins. It's an aimless throw, and they're giving away possession. And I think I remember talking to you the last time, a lot of it is keeping the possession in key areas.
Yeah, so it can both be keeping possession, could also be creating chances directly or scoring goals either immediately after or some seconds after. And let me just give an example. Let me give 2 examples. So I've actually been putting both examples on my YouTube channel. So the first example is Italy against Albania here at the Euros here. Italy, they have a throw-in at their own penalty area, at the edge of their own penalty area. The thrower decides to do a mini switch. It means to defer the second central defender. That can be good if the space is good. The challenge with Italy was that their central midfielders, they didn't create space for that mini switch. They were just passive. So it meant that the striker from Albania, he had what I call a low pressure risk. It meant that he could see where the ball would go directly from the thrower to the second central defender. He wasn't dragged away by the midfielder. So it was easy for him to press. So he caught the ball before the central defender, and then he scored a goal. And a lot of people are just saying, oh, that was only a big mistake. Never throw to the central defenders or the other side. No, it was because it wasn't done well enough. The other example is from yesterday where Denmark, they scored, my home country scored a throw-in goal. They got the ball fast. They threw into a big box, like I call it, big distance between the opponents. Then Jonas Svind, the Danish striker, he got the ball. Then he did a flick with his heel, a side pass, and then Christian Eriksen came with a well-timed run, and then he was totally free in the penalty area, and then he scored. So those were 2 examples of throw-ins. And a lot of people said with that throw-in too, oh, that was just a quick throw-in. No, yes, of course it was quick, but there was a lot of details there. And if you're good at all these small details, you'll be really, really good at throw-ins. So I think still, even though a lot of people know about me, a lot of people know about my throw-in success with my team. Of course, it's a team performance. But a lot of people just still are talking about, oh, that was just a bad throw-in. That was just a fast throw-in. They're not seeing the details yet. So that's also one of my, how can you say, aims or dreams or goals to make also the fans, but also coaches, players, even thinking in even more details around the throw-ins. Yeah.
Have you done anything with international teams like Denmark or anybody like that?
No, not in the men's side, but actually last summer I coached the English women's team before the World Cup.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yes, and George Parker was there, and it was only for one day. I had a talk with them around throw-ins, their own clips, and then I had 45 minutes. I did something around basic space creation, and then we did something around the final third, the last attacking zone. And actually, the team scored a throwing goal from that zone in the semifinal. So yes, even though you're a national team, you can actually learn a lot. I also been, for example, in 2021, I was in Mexico for the Mexican Federation, where I educated all the youth national coaches, both the girls and the boys. So that was some other kind of education. I've been doing courses for the Austrian Federation, for the Belgian Federation, for the Finnish Federation.
Wow.
The Danish Federation too. So I'm not only coaching clubs. I also try to either help national teams specifically or educate coaches in federations. I was at the Norwegian Federation also here in December last year. So I'm just trying to spread my knowledge. It's
You're
important.
everywhere. You're everywhere.
Yeah.
But no, I mean it is. It's brilliant. And as I say, I mean, throw-ins. I played a bit of amateur football back in the 90s. Now, it wasn't that special. It was low-level amateur type stuff. But I always remember a throw-in was just something, there was no thought going into it. Give me the ball, throw. If it goes to your man, it's a bonus. You know what I mean? If it goes to one of your players, it's a bloody bonus.
Yeah.
There's just nothing to it. You know what I mean? But as you say, it's like free kicks. I mean, they're so important in games. Corner kicks, free kicks. I mean, there's a lot of time spent on the training ground with penalty kicks, corner kicks, free kicks. A load of time taken. So why not on throw-ins? As you say, there's probably more throw-ins involved than there is free kicks.
Yeah, you're totally right. And I think that you should really use time for throw-ins. A lot of people are saying, we don't have time for throw-ins. You have a lot of time for throw-ins. And I'll say a lot of my throw-in drills, they look like normal football drills. So the players don't even know perhaps that they're doing throw-in training, So of course, you can say there are 3 types of throwing coaching I'm doing. I'm doing, of course, the improvement of the long throw-ins, so I create world-class long throwers, and that's specifically in the clubs who are focusing on that. Of course, then I have some strategy, long throw-in strategy too, and yeah, I only use a little bit time of that because I let the other coaches take care of that. They just get my advice. But the biggest thing I do in clubs is the fast and clever throw-ins. It's all about space creation, what to do in different zones, different tools, how to read the space when you have a throw-in, how to read the opponent's defending pattern, like I call it, because I want people to think throw-ins. It's not about having one solution in each zone. And I think that's the big mistake that many of the new set piece coaches, they're doing. They're treating the throw-in like a corner kick or free kick. So I want the players to think throw-ins instead. So and that's much more dangerous compared to the normal set piece coach approach where you only have one or two options in each zone. Because you saw with Denmark, yes, they scored a throwing goal, but then yesterday they tried to do the same thing again and again and again, and it was red afterwards. And yes, they still scored after throwing that game, but they couldn't find any other solutions. And so you want to have multiple solutions. You want to create space in many different ways. So yes, there are so many good options in throw-ins. Yeah.
Yeah, well, let's hope it continues into the future. Let's hope Arne Slot, Liverpool's new manager's listening and can get you in for a few sessions as well in pre-season. That would be good, wouldn't it? Something like that. But you never know, as I say, you're on YouTube, Twitter Live, anything's possible. Another thing I think you should probably get involved with is, I don't know whether you know them on Twitter, Coach's Voice, they're called. They're, you know them, you probably heard about them. They interview managers and stuff in world football, mainly European football. Top managers, I think Ancelotti and everybody's been on a Pep. It's top. But anybody's involved in any sort of coaching in the game, they interview and they put it out there. So that'd be interesting too.
Yeah, but they actually made an interview with me, not like live, with the video, but they did a written interview. But I'm beginning to start again to do more like videos, on YouTube. So maybe I should catch up with them again because I think that
absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll link them in on this. By the way, that's absolutely brilliant. As I say, let's hope Arne Slot is listening. But there's another thing we're going to talk about, another side to your life, second part of the show. Interesting. I was surprised when I heard it and I seen it coming up. Thomas Grønnemark has a new single out. Complicated Love. Catchy pop song. What was the genesis of that? Did you sing as a young lad? Were you always a singer?
No, I've been singing my whole life, Dave. I'm like singing 1-2 hours per day. I'm not a trained singer. I never took any education or training in singing, but I'm singing like probably 1-2 hours per day, and I'm like, how can you say, self-educated. So when I sing a song, I'm not just singing it. I try to hit the tones. I try to, try to make it sound great, and so and of course it's not all artist you can sing because it's also about, how can you say, the type of voice you have. So I've been doing that my whole life. I've also been writing text my whole life, and so like small songs and so. And then last year in the fall, I had I had a call with a guy called Rune Broger, and he's like a hit producer from Denmark, and he's been working with some of the biggest Danish artists. He also been working a lot with Carly Rae Jepsen, the one with Call Me Maybe, the most
I do know
2011.
Yeah.
So I had a 45-minute phone call with him. And then in the end, he said to me, you can send your songs to me, but if it's bad, I'll tell you. If they're only medium, I'll tell you too. And if you can't handle, the answer from me, don't you ever send anything to me, because he didn't want that at all. And when I first heard that, I was quite confident because I thought my songs were good. But then, like, after a couple of days, I was really getting nervous because we all seen like X Factor and music talent shows where people themselves think they're like God's gift to music. And so, so I was really nervous. But then I sent my song to him after. I had a talk in Norway for a company up there. And I was sitting in the airport. And first of all, I thought, wow, okay, I'm sending it just before I go into the airplane, because then it has to go into airplane mode. Then I couldn't hear his answer. But then I thought, wow, come on, man. You don't know if you'll answer in like 30 minutes or 3 weeks, So I sent it on Messenger like an hour before I had to fly, and then I was just coincidentally on Messenger again, and then suddenly I saw these 3 spots, when they're answering back, and then I just thought, wow, shit, what is he saying? And then he wrote to me. It was really good. He said it was really catchy, and he said, of course, you never know with music and art, but if we are lucky, it might be a hit in the future, because he said it's like that catchy voice and so. So of course I was really happy, and I thought to myself, because some people might think, hey, you're a throwing coach with success in football. Why are you doing this? But I'm taking the other way. I'm not thinking about the consequences. I'm thinking about, hey, what will happen when you're 80 years old and you're not doing it, and you're thinking, hey, a hit producer said that could be a really big hit. Then I'll regret, So that's the way I take life, Dave. I've been doing a lot of things, also bobsleighing, things like that, setting the world record. So I'm just the kind of guy who's doing that. So we went here in the fall into the recording studio, and I'll say I've never been recording anything before, professionally. I came into Rune's studio, the producer, and then on each side of the wall there was hanging like gold and platinum records, And if I wasn't under pressure before, I was, it was a little bit like going to Melwood, the first time. So recorded like the raw material, and so it's really good. And then everything was a little bit delayed, because then he had some Christmas songs. Then I had a trip to Anaheim for a conference with the throw-ins. Then he had to go to the States and work with some musicians. So we started up again like in March, April, like polishing all the details and getting the master and getting the ad-libs from a female singer. And so in the end, it's just crazy until now. So many people have been writing to me. And you can listen to it on all music channels, Spotify, everything you can imagine.
It's on YouTube as well. I'll put the link in the description. It's on YouTube.
Yeah, and they're already, that's crazy, Dave. There are already, I just checked today, because earlier I wrote 56 countries, but now, for example, on Spotify, it was just refreshed from a new day, a couple of hours ago, and people from 66 countries have been listening to my music. And of course some countries more than others, but it's crazy. So I'm just so proud that I took
what you should do? I don't know whether you have a TikTok account, do you?
Yeah, I have a TikTok account, but I have to post a little bit more with the song, I think.
Yeah, because TikTok is a real, a 30-second snippet of it, catchy. This is, Instagram, TikTok, obviously YouTube, Twitter, even lash it everywhere. I mean, that's what the whole idea is. But I did mention it earlier on, even the Eurovision, something like that. I don't know if there's is there like an X Factor or a pop idol in Denmark? Is there something like that? No.
Yeah, there's something like that, but it's a little bit. I think I have the same approach to music like I have to the throwing coaching, because I'm already done it now, and I think my next step is that maybe a big label sees it. Maybe I won't do any more music, but I don't think I would do like the X Factor or so. If I want to do something, perhaps like you say, the Eurovision, because several people have been saying a little bit like me, it's a catchy song that fits really well for Eurovision. A lot of people also said that it could also be like a football song, because it fits to the stands and the sing along and things like that. So let's see what happens. I had the same approach with my throwing coaching. I haven't been saying even 1 minute of football education. I don't have any courses. I made everything myself, and it's not that I'm too proud to have any courses and education, but it's more about, yes, I've already taken that step. A lot of people have been hearing it, so let's see what the next step with the music is. But it's really important for me to say that I'm still a throwing coach. I'm still coaching clubs all around the world, so it looks like I'm going to have a busy summer there too.
That's why I wanted to get you on, just to let people know, get out there, get on the bigger channels, get out there, get your face seen, talk about it, throw-ins and your song both at the same time, maybe get on the Redmen TV, stuff like that. They have a big base, that type of thing,
Yeah, and you're totally right, and I really appreciate what you said with the coach's voice, because to be honest, it you know, it a little bit when when back in my head there, because it's been like, I don't know, 2-3 years since I talked with them, but that'll be perfect with the throwing coaching, because now I'm ready to give much more. When I was in Liverpool, it was a little bit like I want to keep most of my secrets to Liverpool,
Yeah.
because I had so much love for the club, but now I don't feel, how can you say, have the same feeling about keeping too much of my knowledge. Now I've been having much more focus on helping as many as possible, so, but I had so much love for Liverpool that I want to keep as much as possible for them.
Did you ever write a book?
Yeah, I actually been writing a Danish bestseller called Lazy Energy with the 7 lazy principles. That's for companies, I've been selling a lot of these, doing a lot of talks
I mean,
around
you're a man of many talents here now. Come on,
Yeah.
A song out, throwing coach, traveling all over the world, writing books. I mean, what else? Do you draw pictures?
No, not yet.
Well, paint.
So,
Yeah, that's what I mean, paint pictures.
Yeah, I'm actually a big fan of Van Gogh, so why
I
not?
like Van Gogh as well,
Yeah, but I still have my 2 ears, so...
I was just about to say, don't cut your ear off.
Yeah. So,
but I mean, I mean, you've been nice to me. We interact on Twitter and stuff over the years, and I remember when I was even a much smaller channel, you came on. There was no problem. I think you've been on twice. It's your third time. I love getting that interaction, chatting one-on-one with people. I love that, especially someone like you who is self-taught, basically. You know what I mean? You're self-taught. You're people watching you now, sitting down on a couch watching this tonight or tomorrow or on replay, that didn't go, say, to college or thinking, what can I do with my life? It's all about someone like you, almost like a confidence coach or someone, giving people ideas and also bravery and courage to do something different and make something for yourself. And I think you do that a lot, and that's something to be really proud of.
Yeah, and I have like a couple of pieces of advice for people listening out there, because a lot of people are asking me for advice. For example, a guy, it's called Sammy Lander. He's actually the first substitution coach ever. I helped him. He's now, he worked in Wimbledon as the first substitution coach. Now he's a freelancer. I helped him. I helped so many people, because on one hand, it's like really basic things that helps you reach your dreams and your goals. But you have to be really good at the very basic things. And what do I mean with that? First of all, I think one of the big challenges is that people have challenge with taking the first step. And of course, this would be a really, really long chat here if I have to explain it all. But one of the things they're like focusing on, what is dangerous, what is going wrong, and you have to put on like a calculation here. What is the pluses, what is the minuses? And if you think the pluses are bigger, then just go ahead. Of course, you shouldn't do anything that's not legal or you don't hurt anyone. But when we only think about it without writing it down, we are often thinking about the negative parts, because we're programmed like that. We want to avoid that tiger, being killed like 1,000 years ago, But now we have to. So you have to use your logic sometimes. The other thing I'll say is that you have to be really good at getting help. So a lot of people are thinking, I have to do this myself. I have to work hard. I have to, No, you don't have to work hard. Yes, of course you have to do something, but get help, get knowledge. There's so much knowledge. People can help you. Like you're reaching out to me, Dave, and say, hey, can you come on? If you're not reaching out to me, I'm not coming into your show, So again, there is so much knowledge there. So I've used that a lot myself, getting more and more knowledge, get people to help you. And of course, if you get help, you also, not every time necessarily, but once in a while, give help to other people or pay them or things like that. You can help in so many ways. And then the last thing I'll say is that to be kind. And some of you say, okay, be kind. How important is that? There is some research. I'm telling that also in my talks, that it's not the best teams in companies. That's not teams where they have the most clever people or the most ambitious people. No, it's the teams where you have the closest work relations. They have the best results. They thrive the best. And the reason is because closer work relations, they have more trust. The more trust you have, the easier it is, for example, to share knowledge or help each other. Because if I know you, Dave, like I do, if I can easily ask you, hey, Dave, can you help me? I don't feel ashamed. And if I read something that you can use, I'll call you immediately and say, hey, Dave, can you use this?
So, I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, sorry. Are you with me again? But I'll just say, yeah. Can you hear me, Dave?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, but I'll just say to cap up, so be kind. The kinder you can be, the more trust you'll build with people, the more help you can get, the more help you can give, So again, it may be a simple thing to be kind, but if you put together with have the, how can you say, that you dare to take that first step, that you are really good at getting help when you have a challenge from many other people, and then being really kind. That's some of the really basic things. If you're doing that, I can promise you out there, you'll for sure get closer to your dreams. Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, it's been absolutely brilliant talking to you again, and good luck with the throwing coach. And we know you're out there hoping to get more teams, a lot more stuff on the horizon. Obviously, Arne Slot could be looking for a coach as well. Let's see what happens there. But Complicated Love, where can we find it? Where can you get it? Let the people know.
Yeah, you can actually find it everywhere. So you can find it on Spotify. You can find it on Apple Music. You can find it, I think it's called Amazon Music too. Like you said before, Dave, on YouTube. You can find it everywhere you hear your music. So either you write Complicated Love, like it's called, or maybe the best thing is just to write Thomas Grønnemark, because sometimes there are some of the song titles who are a little bit dissimilar. So just write Thomas Grønnemark, then you'll probably find it. And if you can't find it, I'm sure you can, but then you can find the link on all my social channels. And again, of course, I'm on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, everything. Yeah. So you can find me everywhere. Yeah.
People are asking me in the comments when my single's coming out. You never know. You never know. Haven't got a bad voice. You never know.
We'll make a duet, Dave.
Yeah, a duet for the Eurovision next year.
Yeah.
That'd be funny, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Listen, Thomas, thank you very much for coming on. Stay in touch. Good luck going forward with the single, Complicated Love, and of course the throw-ins. It's been an absolute pleasure. Cheers, mate.
Yeah, cheers. Have a great day.
Thank you. Cheers, guys.